Hi everybody, this is Bic Benedict. We're on Chapter 4. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 2 on Master Ninja difficulty. This is a captive goddess. I don't really like this first part of the level. If they just took the bats out of this whole equation, it would be a lot funner of a level, I feel. Because then you could just go down you could do your shopping, you can go deal with the IS ninjas, and then jump down the hole. It's just, I don't know. It's just a very tedious process over here. Every single time you die, it's an endurance match at first. A UT kill on these bats are going to give you 140, but sometimes I just absorb charges and just to get it faster. I am going to be shopping at the store and leaving in the footage because since we're fresh off the Gigadeath fight, I have nothing. I mean, I have literally nothing. I have no items. Okay, so at the store, you definitely want to buy. It's nice that they refill your key gauge. At least they do that much for you. I'm coming at a little bit of a disadvantage too, not having the Inferno up to level 2. When I did this guide before, I elected to upgrade the Inferno to level 2 rather than the Wind Blades, and it was more helpful on the Gauntlet downstairs. But I would say pretty much just buy 3 Devilway mushrooms. And 3 of the Herb of Spiritual Lives, and I think I might just buy 1 of the Grains of Spiritual Life. I may buy 2. It's very important though that you restock on your arrows. 30 of the arrows, it's going to cost you $3,000, but it's not that bad. You could buy fewer if you want to. You might want to buy some daggers. There is a corpse later on in the level that'll have daggers for us. They don't really help out too much, but just taking care of some of the demon spawns, you might want to chuck a dagger at a demon spawn just to delim him. They might come in handy. Anyway, so one more bat over here, and then we have 4 IS ninjas to deal with over here. I'm equipping the Falcon's Talons. Now, if you go up here really quick, you have enough range to get off a Fly Swallow Azuna drop on this guy here, and then just take it from here and do your guillotine throws. You see, I was trying to do a guillotine throw right there. Some of them don't connect, and I think it's not really the game's fault. It's my fault that I'm not connecting with the enemies. I'm not going to blame the game, but I also feel like I don't have much range when I have this weapon equipped. But it's a good weapon. This fight's not too bad, even though I made it look harder than it truly is. Sometimes I do this without taking any damage. Downstairs, though, we have a bunch of archers and IS ninjas, and I wish you could snipe these. I wish you could snipe some of the archers from up here, but they don't spawn until you jump down. So I'm equipping the Dragon Sword to give myself some range. Try to get a beheading. I never get a beheading though. And then just start casting Nympho like crazy. The biggest problem here is getting tagged by flaming arrows. It takes away a lot of your health. Trust me. So all I'm doing is I'm using the Nympho, jumping, because I know that if I just press the Y and V button to activate the Nympho, a lot of the times it doesn't register the fact that I'm doing it. So so these guys are going to get taken care of. In the last video, I think on the Trial of Valor, I mentioned that, or it was earlier in the chapter, that the Wind Blades don't kill enemies. That's wrong, and I knew it at the time. It's just that they mostly delim enemies, but if they already are delimbed and then you're using the Wind Blades in close proximity to them, they are going to get killed very rapidly, in fact. So over here I'm doing OTs to give myself some immunity frames. One more guy over here to give myself an OT, get some iframes. Did a nice kick right there. And now, once the archers are gone, it's not that bad. But these guys have a way of ganging up on you down here, especially when they're all throwing incendiary shurikens at you. So there is a good usage of the incendiary shuriken on my own behalf over here. So now I'm going to collect all the money that I can. So I'm going to be doing a lot of UTs in this level. I'm not going to be well, I guess it's kind of spamming them, and it contradicts what I say in my description about minimal use of UTs. And that's pretty much how I. It's not that I'm a spammer. Trust me. I could do all this and survive without spamming. Well, maybe not this part, but a lot of the areas in this stage can be They're very doable without doing UTs. But coming off that test of Valor, I'm going to need a lot more resources than I have. I need a lot of essence. I need a lot of items to do the other tests of Valor because there's 8 more that I need to do. The test of Valor on this level is a cakewalk. You're not going to struggle whatsoever on it. It's very easy, but it's going to give us a lot of money. You get a Talisman of Rebirth for doing the test of Valor on this stage. Plus, they give you another test of Valor earlier in the stage, so they're very generous with you in that respect. So now I'm going to grab my money in a moment, try to get off some parries, and then when there's one guy left, I'm going to grind for money on him. So this is another long level, just like Chapter 3 was long, but I don't believe that this chapter is going to be the hour and 52-minute video that the previous video was. I decided I'm not gonna speed up any footage. I might speed up footage of like arrow UT spamming, or sessions where I'm just killing mutant bats with arrow UTs. But I think a lot of people want to watch the test of Valor regardless of if I'm just spamming attacks. So I'm not going to be speeding up any of that footage. So don't worry about that. So that's the last one of those guys. Now we're going to go up to the other abandoned car up here, and just work our way up here. That was an accident. Did not mean to press the B button there. I'm going to pick up the chest that contains the Nympho, and then what we have coming up is some demon spawns and Van Gelfs. So it's actually, the last time I came here, when I did the guide the first time, I didn't have enough arrows. So the reason I told you to buy arrows is because of this part here. You can do a lot of arrow UTs when these guys get trapped. I'll show you. It's actually really funny. So hop over here now. I'm going to do a charge. You got to really be careful. I barely got that one off in time. Looks like we have a demon spawn shooting at us. We were immune though during the UT animation. So I'm going to take care of this guy, get OTs, get an immunity frame or 2, and one dagger that you throw at if it connects, one dagger will delimb this guy. So looks like we got a Van Gelf. He hit me with the flame. He's delimbed though, so I could OT him. Now I'm going to focus on dealing with this demon spawn and getting my 1400 per kill. Of course it missed right there. It didn't miss because it just missed. It was targeting the Van Gelf, and then he was trapped behind the pole right there. So it looks like I ran out of incendiary shurikens right here. I don't depend on incendiary shurikens over here. It just helps sometimes to throw one at one of these demon spawns who are hovering in the air, get them delimbed, and have them charge at you, and then have them fall into your UT. So I'm going to collect this money over here. I need a lot of money. It's not because I'm being greedy. It's because I use a lot of resources on the test of Valor, and I need to make up for it. So I'm looking to get of course I missed him. He jumped right over my UT. I'm looking to get my 1400 per kill for this guy right here, which I did. So that's 1400 essence in my pocket. And it's not over yet. Don't worry, you're not gonna unspawn any enemies over here unless that's one of your things. I don't think these enemies can be unspawned over here. So now we're gonna go up here and just see what's going on. Some of them are probably trapped, and I think I actually go over here just to see if they are trapped. And then twice in a row I got ambushed from behind because I wasn't paying attention, and I just assumed there was no more Van Gelfs. This right here, that scared the hell out of me. And it happened twice, so shame on me. But the reason my back was turned to that guy was because I knew there was a couple of enemies. I saw a flash. I saw some kind of a purple streak over there, and I knew it was a Van Gelf. Right there, I was charging in anticipation of a Van Gelf. He didn't come. He only comes when your back's turned to him, though. It's like right over here, got smashed again. I wasn't scared that time. I was just mad at myself for being too complacent. So that's the last Van Gelf who's going to charge us, so don't worry about that anymore. Now we have some trapped enemies over here, and it's very nice to have some arrows so we can do arrow UTs and kill these guys without having to go up to them and approach them. So you see how this guy's trapped over here? We have, I think the remaining enemies in this level are going to be trapped. There's a Van Gelf over here who's trapped, and also that demon spawn, he's trapped up there. I honestly don't know how they get trapped. They're just behind one of the bars. So I'm kind of inching my way around the corner. Sometimes you can't. I try to hit a wing, but it just doesn't work. So here I'm trying to. I've done this before. I know I can go over here and hit the guy. or at least try to. Sometimes they get, yeah, there we go. It's a little crack right there. I'm trying to shoot, and what I thought happened right there, I thought the guy got untrapped and he was going to rush me, so I was taking precautions over here. It's only when you don't take precautions that you get hit, ironically, but now we're going to go over here and think kill the demon spawn who's trapped, so let's take care of him. I'm gonna need to inch up a little bit to take him out. There we go, that's plenty of room. Okay, 2 guys trapped. See, I don't know how they get trapped. I honestly don't, but I like how they get trapped. I'm not complaining whatsoever. So okay. I don't know how I didn't get hit right there, but I needed to run out of the way right there. In hindsight, though, I didn't need to run because, look, see how the guy's trapped? I don't know how I don't know. Look, it doesn't look like there is any way that he could get trapped, but every time I play this chapter, it looks like this is that area that I just shot the guy at. It looks like that's an area that's a problem area, like some kind of a Twilight Zone area where they get trapped. Anyway, the reason I'm moving forward is because I heard the music subside, that intense battle music, so I knew that I had a clear way up to the save point, and I'm going to take advantage of it, save it, prepare for the next battle. The next fight we have is versus IS ninjas and mages. So ascend the stairs over here, try to get up a heading if you can, and then what I'm going to do is stick close to the wall. And once again, we're in chapter 4, and I want to go over how to lower the aggression rate of the mages. Yeah, it's very simple. You simply don't look at them, meaning you don't move the camera on them. Now, the mage just did a spire of fire right there. That's just going to happen sometimes when your UT kind of shifts perspective and it focuses on the mages. But just throw the IS ninjas at the wall here, throw them at the fence posts, they'll get delimbed just the same. And this works really well. I've got to say, I normally don't fight the battle up here. I'm usually inclined to take the battle downstairs in the subway area. Sometimes more space helps you in this game. Sometimes it just really doesn't, though. I think in chapter 1, I think it was chapter 2, I mentioned how the more compact an area is, the more, especially if you're dealing with IS ninjas, the more compacted the area is, the more freely you can just throw guys into walls, sunder their limbs, and then OT them. So 2 items over here, I believe they're both Herb of Spiritual Lives. And then we're going to be dealing with another fight. So I would recommend saving over here. The reason I save is because I'm a guide maker, and my final product at the end of the day, I like to have it be representative of what I feel is the best strategy, even though this strategy that you're going to see over here was a tad experimental. There's a course with arrows on him, and we have a Devil Way Mushroom in the corner. The guys are not going to spawn until you go up a way, so just getting that box is not going to spawn them. Normally what I like to do is just get the Devil Way Mushroom, jump up a few times, and then ignite the flaming barrel and kill one guy. But I said to myself, you know what, I've done that so many times, and it only kills one guy, unless you wait to do other things. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a guillotine throw on all of these guys, get every guy delimbed to the point where no enemy can shoot arrows at me. And then if you're doing it this way and not parrying attacks with the square button, I'm so used to the PlayStation. But look at this, we got every single guy delimbed. I've done this several times, and it's kind of interesting, and it's just one of those experimental things. I just love getting everybody. I just love getting a group of enemies delimbed and then doing the Lunar 360 UT, because it does that circular sweeping motion right here. Takes out a lot of guys. So I'm just going to do this several times. So there was almost 1,500 in essence for those 3 kills, with an essence kill on these guys being about 490. And after this fight, there's really no question about it. Go back to the save point. It's not going to make you less of a player, because there's dogs. Whenever there's dogs, we have serious problems. So when IS Ninja's going to come out here, when you either shoot an arrow or do a UT on that, whenever I get this happens every single time I play this game. I get the IS Ninja in this quadrant, and then I come down here and prepare a charge for him. But I knew he would just stay up there. I don't know what he does. But anyway, you definitely want to save it after this because I don't have much health. But regarding the dogs, they're not as deadly as they are in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. I mean, one hit from the dogs would ordinarily kill you if they bit you. So, I mean, these guys are... You see how they wind path off your head? It's really ridiculous. The Azuna drop combo works pretty well on these guys. It would be really awesome if you could, like, Azuna drop these guys, but you just can't. They're very fast. They take away a ton of damage, and they hunt in packs, so... in a few minutes, we are going to be getting another Jewel of the Demon Seal, and I am going to definitely be applying that to the Inferno, because I like the Inferno. It's very effective. I mentioned this in the last guide I did. The Inferno doesn't increase in strength the higher up you level it up. It increases in range. So a level 3 Inferno has the same exact strength that a level 1 does. It's just that when you have a level 3 Inferno, you can target 3 foes, whereas with a level 1 you can only target 1 foe. And you know, if you only have to level 2, then obviously 2 is the number of foes you can charge maximum. So we killed all the dogs. I would definitely, I mean, if you have as much health as I have, you would probably need to save it. So the enemies spawn right here, right when you cross that crack in the ground. And now I'm going to do that. I'm just going to fight these guys normally, meaning don't turn the camera on them. Although some of them, they teleport like right in front of you. This is kind of a, it's kind of an atypical situation. And you saw right there, sometimes these guys block. Once we, or not once we, but you saw in the Test of Valor, if you watched my full video 3 and you watched the Test of Valor, you saw the undead versions of these guys block. These guys block too, but definitely try to get a kill like this. That's 1,050. You just can't beat that much money just for one kill. You just cannot beat it. So don't go anywhere other than directly to the save point right now. I went over here just because I thought I would maybe smash that, but I decided against it. Save it. Now we're going to be dealing with some IS ninjas. There's 2 alleyways down here, and over here I may have got grabbed, but I know I got an Azuna drop off a launcher parry. I'm going to demonstrate it. You see how I parried him? You have to parry to do the Azuna drop off a parry. You have to parry with the Y button, because that's the launcher parry. The quote unquote launcher parry. I know I do it over here again. So parry the attack, and then all you have to do when you're in the air, press X and Y. I believe I do it somewhere else. So launch that guy. Missed him. Sometimes the enemy is a little bit too far away from you to grab him. But that's pretty much the way to do it, and I'll be doing it more. You can also do an Azuna drop off a Gleaming Blade attack, but the Gleaming Blade is only accessible at level 4, meaning that, well, if you didn't know, the Dragon Sword at level 4, the Dragon Sword, when you have it at level 4, it's technically called the True Dragon Sword, but we don't acquire that until Chapter 11. Because we need Ayani to give us a jewel that we place in the Dragon Sword to turn it into the True Dragon Sword. It was the same kind of way when we were playing Sigma 1. Thought that was a glitch right there. So definitely save it before you fight this battle here, although I didn't have too much problems dealing with this section. We are going to be getting some Nimpo orbs for our efforts, as well as all these kills right here. There's quite a few of these guys, to be honest here. And I hope everybody's having success with this guide. I really do. I don't just do a guide like this to show off. I mean, it's fun to show off, and there's a certain bit of exhibitionism is the wrong word. It has a sexual meaning, but it's kind of the same thing when you're exhibiting your skills on the internet. It really is. I'm showing off a little bit, and it does feel good to show off and show others how good I am at this game. But that doesn't mean I'm the best. There's other people that are hella better than I am. But I genuinely like helping others beat games that originally when I played them, they kicked my ass. So I'm going to pass over this course that has the Jewel of the Demon Seal. Don't worry, I'm not going to forget about it. Oh, and it just occurred to me I forgot to pick up the Talisman of Rebirth. I'll have to definitely get it because this voice commentary is going to end pretty soon. Hop over here, and then what I like to do is equip the Lunar and prepare a 360 UT on these Vangelfs who leap over here. And what you don't want to do, though, because there are 4 Vangelfs, 2 at a time, I was experiencing, sometimes I would jump down to where the save point is to prepare a charge and have enough time to get my UT going, but that generally resulted in me unspawning 2 of the Vangelfs and missing out on a UT kill like this, which, as we all know, nets you 700 Essence. So, it's pretty safe to just melee with these guys, just even in view of the fact that we have the demon mutants hovering in the air. There's quite a few of those guys. They populate this stage like nothing else, but I believe on those guys you get for an arrow UT on those guys. I honestly don't know. I think you would get half of what it is for this kind of kill right here. Not half of 700, but I think half of 490 is what you get. I think you may only get it like 240, maybe even 140. I will double check though, and because we're going to be facing these guys a lot when we get into the Statue of Liberty, the lobby area where the Statue of Liberty is. So no more Vangelfs over here, and I'm going to have to come back actually and get that Talisman of Rebirth because there's no way in hell I'm passing up a $50,000 item. If you already had a Talisman of Rebirth, that chest to the left that has a Talisman of Rebirth, it would just give you $50,000. That's how it always works in this game. If you have the item that it's going to give you, it just gives you the money, which is really nice. It doesn't work that way in corpses though, because if you have a maximum number of like Devilway mushrooms and you approach a corpse that has a Devilway mushroom, it's just going to tell you that you can't carry anymore and you're going to have to pass it up or use one of them at some point down the line and then come back and then pick it up again off the course. Also, when I say course, I'm using the archaic spelling of it from the 1800s, the Old English spelling of it. I used to be a big Mary Shelley fan, and she would went out like the Frankenstein author, and she also wrote an apocalyptic book entitled The Last Man. I had to actually stop the recording because I couldn't find the book on my bookshelf and look for it. And by the time I found it, the session of audio recordings was over. So, yeah, definitely, if you want to check that book out, it's called The Last Man. But if you just want to play a game that's coming out in May that's like that, just play The Last of Us, because I'm sure as hell going to play that game. Anyway, so we have a lot of demon bat. What were these guys called? I know I called them the correct name. Mutant demons or something like that. I'm not going to go in my bookshelf and look for it again and have the recording halted. But anyway, that should be the last one almost. It looks like there's one more guy hanging around somewhere. There he is. Whenever the essence just immediately comes into you, that's your cue that the battle's over. So now I'm going to go over here and get the Jewel of the Demon Seal and apply it to the Art of the Inferno because I need to get that up to level 2 pronto. After this, I'm going to go back and acquire the Talisman of Rebirth that in my haste I neglected to pick up. Don't make a similar mistake. I wasn't too far out of the beaten track though, so I picked up my Talisman of Rebirth. And now we're going to go to the next section. We're going to acquire a Life of the Gods item and fight some more Vangelfs. So here's a course right here that has incendiary shurikens. From this point forward, anytime you want to restock on those, go over to the body and then pick more up. The last time you can pick them up is before you go over to King Kong and fight him. I just got bats here and I said to hell with it. I actually calculated what I got here and it was 730, so if indeed I was going to get a $1,000 orb reward for that, it was just a few less than 1,000, so the thing about the incendiary shurikens is, yes, that corpse has them, so you're going to need to loot that body every single time, but don't worry about it, because near the Test of Valor there's another item in the display case that will give you an incendiary shuriken refill, all 30 of them every single time, so definitely take advantage of this stage. It has a lot of really good items on it. So for these guys, I'm doing UTs because I need a lot of money, and don't let me saying I need a lot of money make you think that I'm doing nothing but UT spamming. Admittedly, like, all I do over here is do UT attacks, but I don't base my whole strategy off UTs. It's just when I need money. So yeah, basically that's the bottom line. So we've got our daggers, and we're going to be facing a mid-level boss pretty soon. He is, I call him King Kong. Some people call him the giant brute fiend. Some people call him the troll. He is, and always will be, to me, King Kong. And it's a bit laughable. And I hate getting grabbed twice in a row. It's a bit laughable, but he's just become King Kong to me over the years. I mean, hell, he looks like King Kong, so. Anyway, one more guy left. I'm going to do a UT, take advantage of the fact that, of course I missed right there. Ah, man. Missing those UTs is... It's even worse than not getting a UT built up, because at least you've got the UT built up, but then you fail it, you miss it. Oh well, anyway, now we're going to be doing our flying bird flips up here, and I'm going to be doing UT charges over here, because I know there are demon spawns, and I know that these yellow dragons here, these demon spawns, they yield 1,400 in essence, so I'm fully taking advantage of the fact that, you know, I can get that much money from a UT kill. I was going to go on a tangent about something, but I can't seem to recall what exactly it was. So just bear with me. On this fight, a fight like this can be really easy if you're just hitting these guys with standard attacks and executing them. It's just that when you get into the mentality of, oh yeah, that's what I was going to mention. It's just when you get into the mentality of, I've got to make a lot of money, then the pressure's on and you get pounced on by these guys, or something even worse. But what I wanted to mention was I think I used all of my Nimpo in my key gauge, because I thought, well, I didn't. Pretty much, I was going to base my strategy on when dealing with the flying demons. I actually looked up what those guys were again. They're flying demons, not the yellow guys. We're going to be facing the flying demons pretty soon. But the reason I use all my Nimpo here is because I was of the predilection to go up to the next area and then just use incendiary shurikens to take care of all the flying demons, and hope to get like 2, possibly even 3 Nimpo drops, but I didn't get any, so it was a bit of a waste. But then I had defeated King Kong and then got through the gauntlet after King Kong, and then I just overwrit my data. I just said it's good enough, I'm satisfied, because I got a lot of kills here. So you know what? It's hard to get a charge going. It's hard to get a UT going. I kid you not. In my dreams, I'm fleeing from enemies, trying to build up charges. It's just, I don't know. I've just been playing this game for so long and building up charges. It's like running in slow motion in your dream. But instead of running, we're trying to charge and attack, and there's just never enough time. There's just never enough time. So, to make sure that you get at least a fighting chance to build up a UT, it's always good to sacrifice a kill by hitting these guys and then executing them with an OT and then having a piece of essence on the map so that you can at least get an ET instantly. That's not going to always guarantee that you're going to be able to have enough time to build up a UT, but having that instant UT definitely helps the time factor. So anyway, as far as the Inferno and the Wind Blades that we currently have, the Wind Blades are extremely effective on all these guys. They're even, I would say they're equally effective on all these guys. The Wind Blades will de-wing these demon spawns so that they'll lose the wing and then they can't fly up in the air anymore. But what I want to talk about is the Inferno and its how it has no efficacy versus the demon spawns. It has a lot of efficacy, and when I say that word, I just mean potency and strength. It has no efficacy on these guys here. That the guy that's chasing me right now, the demon spawn, or excuse me, yeah, the demon spawn. It will one Inferno will kill the excuse me. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. I need some water. It'll kill a Van Gelf, one Inferno, but trust me, it will take like 2 to 3 to kill one of these demon spawns. Sometimes it won't even kill them. They resist the Inferno. So we killed the last guy, and I had about 3/4 of my health. And what I did over here was, you may not notice the edit, but what I did was I didn't go to the save point up here. What I did was I revisited the previous save point to save my data in case I died over here, which I did once. It was only because I wasn't utilizing incendiary shurikens. I was just stupidly flinging arrows at these guys, which takes forever. I noticed that just standing on from a standing position, you make contact a lot more with these guys, but of course you're more vulnerable when you're just standing around on the ground. So anyway, I went back to the previous save point, and then every time, well, not every time, but I did die once. What I wanted to do was complete this wave of flying demons, and then the next wave of flying demons, and then refill my health at the save point, and then just be able to save my data at a previous save point. Without there's no heal feature because I used it at the previous save point, but there is here. I'm not even going to use it now. I'm going to wait until I finish this next wave. So that's one of the things I did in Chapter 1. It's nice like that, because in Sigma 2, there's no heal. You can't just heal and then save it afterwards. In Sigma 2, it's heal and save. You can't split the two up and base the strategy off it. That's why I like this game a lot better. So, overall better, and also that feature I like better too. So, we're going to be coming up on King Kong presently. The method I'm going to show you is the safest way to deal with this guy. It's the safest way, I would imagine, and the most efficient way. If you're patient on King Kong, you should have no problems not only defeating him, but defeating him without taking a single hit. If you're impatient, you're going to get slaughtered, and good luck with that. So anyway, all I'm doing is auto charges on this guy. Because I know even if I do a manual charge and hit his head, it's going to take the same amount of as hitting him with an auto charge. The thing about the auto charge is that sometimes, right there, see how I have, it's nice to have the Dragon Sword equipped so you can get a little extension on your evades. He has a lot of range with this grab. You got to watch out for that. You're not going to get killed outright with a grab. I think that would be the case in Sigma 2, but not here. What I do know for certain is that, you see right here, I'll get back to that topic I was going to say in a minute, but visibility is an issue here, as is the camera sometimes. So sometimes I'm just kind of blind firing, and he's out of my... I can't see where he is, so I have to kind of go by faith or by gut in that instance, or simply just get out of the corner and not even try to get off an arrow UT. So this is definitely the safest way. All you do is jump to make sure that you don't manually do a manual shot with the arrow. Just don't press any of the analogs. Just jump, get it on landing charge preferably, and then hold it in the B button until see that right there, that will kill you outright, even at full health. So when he reels back like that, it's a great opportunity to hit him because you've got a lot of time. So right there, I switched to manual aiming because I couldn't see him. It's just your preference, you know, what you want to do. Auto aiming is quicker, it's more efficient, I feel. Visibility is down a little bit in some cases, but you're going to take the same amount of damage off of him. I mean, sometimes you'll hit his arm rather than the head, but you're going to deal significant damage, and this is a very easy fight. He's already into OT status. He doesn't even have lackeys the way he does in Mentor mode, which doesn't make any sense. But no checkpoint to fall back on, just like there's no checkpoint to fall back on in the Bone Dragon a couple chapters from now. So make full use of your incendiary shurikens. Remember I advised you to pick those up before you go to King Kong. So when you get to this point, don't get greedy. Don't try to grind for money over here. You don't want to get pounced on, get killed, and then have to refight King Kong. If this were Sigma 2, we would be able to have the flexibility of a save point after or a checkpoint rather after King Kong, but the fact that there's no checkpoint after a mid-level boss in these games is inexcusable. It's offensive to me, it insults me as a player, and it just makes me think that no forethought went into any of these confrontations with mid-level bosses. Anyway, so at least I got a 1400 essence kill right there, and even though I told you not to get greedy, I'm still, you know, it's hard not to get greedy, but I'm going to finish this guy off probably with a incendiary shuriken. So there's one more phase to this whole battle, and it involves incendiary shurikens, which is why I equipped the Falcon's Talons. I dropped one Nimpo into my key gauge just in case things got hectic. They never got hectic, but I wanted to at least take out those two guys. What's going to happen is you're going to have incendiary shuriken ninjas fall directly out of the sky over here. So right here, the reason no one was spawning was because I had guys delimbed in the hallway. So watch as... So I took one of the guys out, and you see that guy? He just materialized. What happened is he fell right out of the blackened sky, as did that guy right there. So just don't take any chances here. I mean, do you want to fight King Kong? Sure, he's not a hard boss. You know, I defeated him without taking a single hit, but why would you want to? And even more on topic, why do we have to? Why do we have to refight a mid-level boss in this game? I mean, they programmed this game so that there's a checkpoint on these mid-level bosses. Like when you get to King Kong, and you die on him. They start you right on King Kong. They don't make you go to the save point and then get over to him again, just like in the Bone Dragon scenario. But you know, again, it's inexcusable. But don't go to the right, hit the save point first. It's very imperative. The next fight is versus mages and IS ninjas. So check this out, what I do. I don't even look at the enemies. I let them come over to me. I missed the guillotine throw out there, but I got him. These are, by the way, these are going to be really fun fights. Traditionally, like a fight like this was extremely hard for me, but if you employ the strategies that I do to take care of business here, it's not even that hard. I mean, sure, you might die as I did a couple times, but once you get a really good successful run, just stand here, do not look at the mages, and then just guillotine throw, execute. It's pretty standard. I mean, there's a couple fights in this game where things can really spiral out of control. I'm reminded of a fight in the snow level. I can't remember what chapter it is because I play this game in Sigma 2 so many times that. But look, that's the whole battle. But what I was going on there was that the chapters are numbered differently in this game in Sigma 2. So pick up the DCTF, and I'm actually gonna equip this. Here's the infinite supply of arrows. From here on out, though, you can't go back to the course that had the arrows. So there's a collectible item right here. Now we're going to be facing some archers who always charge you. So come up here and then spawn them and then fall back. What I was going to say a minute ago was I'm gonna really try to do better with this particular weapon. It's always one of those. It's kind of like a novelty weapon for me, but it's got a lot of things going for it. It's got whenever I use this weapon, I feel like it's got a lot of control and not really. What's the word? I'm groping for the word. I think it's a really steady-handed weapon that gives you a lot of power and control. I can't think of another synonym for that, but anyway, this next fight up here. Normally I just fall back, but I said, you know what? To hell with it. I'm going to get my hands dirty. I'm going to have a fun fight. So I'm going to throw an info at this guy. The reason I normally would not advise people to come out here into the open and lure everybody back is because we have archers over here. But you'll unspawn the archers if you go too far back. And you know what? Sometimes this game is hell. I mean, it's always challenging, especially with these guys here, these IS ninjas, but you're playing this game, and if you're playing on Master Ninja mode, you're probably pretty good. If you're not, that good, you're probably, at least you're trying to get better, as I was. Because, believe me, I wasn't born a pro, and I'm not a pro. I'm just saying that the more you play this game, the better you're going to get at dealing with situations. But I would advise you to, if you're watching my guide, just have fun. When it seems like whenever I'm having the most fun, I'm owning shit up the most. Sure, I'm going to take hits and get damaged like right there, but it's all for fun. And of course, I was trying to fly swallow that guy and didn't connect. But when I was playing this fight, I said, please let me succeed so I could have this footage in, because when I was doing this, I was having a blast. I was having the time of my life, and how many games can you say that about? That you're having the time of your life? Not many at all. So, gonna OT that guy and then deal with the mages over here. A couple mages left, and then what happened was the Van Gelf burst out, and somehow I unspawned this guy. I have no idea how I unspawned him. I didn't want him to unspawn, but that was a little addendum in my description about. I had to amend it because sometimes enemies are going to unspawn, and it's not because I'm going out of my way to unspawn them, as you can, but sometimes they just unspawn. It's not my. See here, I'm looking for the guy, the Van Gelf. He just disappeared. I don't know where he went. Anyway, now we're going to grab a Devil Way Mushroom, and this is how you do the wall run to get over here. Next section we're going to be doing is Van Gelf's. So jump down here. You may want to save it first. Spawn these guys, do a wall run vertically, and then I got about 10,000 essence for this session, so that just goes to show you how much you can get for a session like this. I'm going to be doing UTs completely. I'm going to be manipulating the environment over here so that I can prepare my charges. I don't need to do a technique like this, but contrarily, I need essence. So it's just one of those, double-edged swords where I said I wasn't going to be UT spamming in the first video, and sometimes I'll just mention it occasionally, but I wouldn't consider this UT spamming here, just because of the fact that I'm grinding for money. It's not that I don't know how to fight these guys. A couple of hits with the X button, even like one press of the X button sometimes will delimb them, and then you just press the Y button. I'm no fool. I know how to take care of these guys, but I want money. So it's just always one of those things that happens when I play this game. But I want people to just to know that, yes, I'm only doing UTs over here, but if I didn't, then I wouldn't be able to get 10,000 in essence. So, and it's kind of a shame to have to do it, but UTs are fun. They're a little bit exasperating when you're trying to get off charges, so that's why I like to manipulate the environment. Like, an area like this is just perfect when I say manipulate environments, I just mean that I'm going to places where it's going to take the enemy long enough to get to me to where I can charge and attack. Someone actually asked me a question yesterday, how do you manipulate the chest? I guess I didn't really fully explain what I was talking about, and maybe the term manipulate is a little subjective, but the chest, all you do to manipulate the chest is you save your data, and then you go to the chest and get what you want. Some of these treasure chests, they have one thing and one thing only. Like some chests, they will only have nympho orbs. Some of them will only have a herb of spiritual life, but some of the chests they'll have. I don't know if it's unique to Master Ninja. I don't know. I've never played easy. I've never played Acolyte before. I don't think so. Even when I was brand new to this game, I think I always started with Warrior mode. So I can't speak for certain about if, like on Acolyte mode, the chests that are the chests that vary in what they give you are permanent. I just don't know. Someone might have to tell me what's going on with those. Like the chests that are not fixed, that have multiple items, because I think on Master Ninja mode and like Mentor mode, they kind of screw with you, and sometimes they'll give you bats as a reward. I know when I defeated the Bone Dragon, there's like 3 chests, and it was one of those cases where if you open the chest, you just don't know what you're going to get, because I know what the chest is. I know if it's a fixed chest or an unfixed chest. A fixed chest just means it has the same thing every time, so it's technically safe to open those kind of chests. But if you've done a lot of solid progress and you don't want to lose progress, sometimes you don't want to open one of those chests that is random, There's ways of dealing with the bats, and there's ways of dealing with the ghost fish, but back to that dynamic thing about the chests. A lot of the chests in this game, they have money drops or ghost fish. When I first played this game, when I was brand new to this series, I said to myself, why would I ever want ghost fish as opposed to money? Because ghost fish, they might hurt you. You might get injured by trying to kill them, and the drops for those things are not very lucrative unless you get like an info drop, which in this game equals 6,000 in essence if you wanted to go to the store and buy those. Now I'm going to head back. I'll make this quick. My traversal of the map. But getting back to that ghost fish thing, it's either you open the chest and it'll give you 1,000 in essence. Most of the times, most of these chests, because I calculate it, it's 1,000. You don't even need to calculate 1,000. It's just another like a 1. It's another in the 1,000th place or whatever. Anyway, now we're going down here. We're going to spawn some more Vangels. Definitely save it. But doing UTs on the ghost fish gives you 3 to 5 times more than just a standard opening the chest and getting 1,000 in essence. So spawn these guys here. I think the guy hit me. Yep. Okay, so this scenario here, we can't really go back into the lobby area where we were. If you recall, a few minutes ago, I was manipulating the chest. Not the chest. I was manipulating the environment by going up there, doing that vertical wall run. I'm not comfortable going back in there when I fight these guys, because I don't want any of the demon bats to unspawn. I don't know how it works, but I know for certain if you go back far enough, a lot of these guys are going to unspawn. If you go to the save point and then come back here, there's just no chance they'll all be gone. So right over here, I have the incendiary shurikens equipped, so I'm kind of just doing charges over here when it's safe. And there's not really any way to know it's safe, but you just kind of go by luck. But I think the last time I was doing this, I was complaining about the same thing that I usually complain about, how the arrows aren't infinite as they are in Sigma 2. It just makes the game a lot more frustrating and a lot less fun to not have enough arrows, because I don't believe I killed all the bats. I had exhausted all of my incendiary shurikens. Incidentally, I don't feel that you should get an infinite amount of incendiary shurikens. That would just completely break the game and make it so easy, but because they're completely overpowered. But to not have an infinite amount of arrows just makes the game a lot more tedious, because you have to go around and get the arrows, buy them. The arrows aren't even that strong, so I honestly don't know why they don't give you an infinite amount of the arrows, unless they were trying to be true to their roots of Sigma 1, Ninja Gaiden 1, where there's no infinite arrows either, or rather there isn't any infinite arrows. I should know how to talk. I'm an English major. So what happens every time I do this? I always never have enough of the projectiles, because at this point in the game all we have is these two projectiles, and I probably would have enough if my throws didn't go wild all the time. It's not my fault, it's the game's fault, actually. I don't like to blame the game too often because it's a cop-out, but I'm telling you, like, I'll be directly in front of one of these bats and I'll be grounded, and then I'll throw one, and then it'll just completely miss. So now I'm going to the arrows. My thinking here was that instead of doing arrow UTs and trying to rack up, try to get rich very slowly, I instead said to myself, I'm going to kill all these guys with just standard kills, try to get a Nimpo drop, because a Nimpo drop in this game, like I mentioned before, when we were in the lobby by the save point, if you get a Nimpo orb, that's essentially that's you not having to buy one at the store. And on Master Ninja mode, a Devilway Mushroom is $6,000. So that's a lot of a good reward for. And I get it over here somewhere. But this is not a very lucrative process until you start getting Nimpo drops. I was surprised I only got one Nimpo drop on these guys. I honestly was. I was expecting to get at least two, which would have been, that's 12,000 in essence. I mean, sure, there are chests that can give you free Nimpo, but they're not all over the place. They're actually very rare chests that give you those. Those chests that give you all your Nimpo, or most of all of it. Looks like a Nimpo orb. Right there, I couldn't dodge. I was way too... You see that throw right there? I want you guys to rewind that and check that out. I'm going to actually rewind it when I ever upload this video. I just uploaded Chapter 3, and it took 27 hours of upload time, and it's still not completely processed because it has to process, so the processing takes... That was not a bad throw on my part, but it still missed. Anyway, it took 27 hours to upload Chapter 3. It was an hour and 50-minute video. Okay, on to the next section up here. We have some mutant demons and Van Gelfs. So I'm going to equip the Lunar because that's the weapon that I'm disposed to use on these particular enemies. So watch out for that jump right there. That leap right there, you can get pounced on very easily. So we've got the mutant demon bats hovering in the air. So preferably go to one of the four sides of this building that doesn't have the demon bats anywhere on it. And for people who might be thinking that I'm just a UT spammer, I'm just going to take these guys out with traditional hits. I think I do one UT, but that's the extent of it. We're going to be going into the building in short order. And the way I usually like to work this test of valor that's coming up in this chapter, and by the way, it's a very easy one, and you could spam UTs on it. And I think the last time I did it, when I did this guide, I made around 100,000 in essence. Plus, I got the reward, the Talisman of Rebirth, which I already had. So the box gave me 50,000. So I made 150,000 plus essence. So if you're, you're looking for a lot of money, definitely pick that one up. Go to the Test of Valor. But the reason I'm here and not back at the area where the Test of Valor is because I need a few more items first. I need maybe a couple healing items and some Nimpo, which I'm going to get when I go into the building. I just need to have a store to purchase stuff at, and the next store is quite a ways up once we ascend the Statue of Liberty building. So that may have been the last one of the Vangels. Now we're dealing with the mutant demons here. Oh no, they're called flying demons. I'm always trying to catch myself because I'm calling these things the wrong name, and what's in a name really? But the problem is, I like to call things by the right name. I don't like to sound stupid and not know what I'm talking about. But everybody's going to call things different. Some people call the water demons, those red water demons, they call those blood gahas. And who knows what's right? I'm just going by the guide that I have for this game, which cost me $10 and it was worth every penny. And believe you me, it's highlighted and written up all over the place, and I've used it in my last guide to find everything, and I did find everything. So here, I just ran out of incendiary shurikens, and since I haven't been able to access a store before, and since that I used all my arrows, and since that the course who gives you arrows when you first come into the Statue of Liberty building where the save point is and where the Xbox logo is, he gives you arrows, but he stops giving you arrows after the mage and the IS fight. Kind of weird like that. And then I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to have to kill these guys somehow, so the Azuna drop works pretty well. Obviously, we can only do the Azuna drop combo. We can't do the body slam. I even busted out some shurikens over here, I believe. And then there's another section where Life of the Gods number 7 is, where there is all of these flying demons, and I can never kill them all because I don't have enough projectiles, and they're not close enough to where I can hit them with attacks. They're close enough to where I can throw shurikens at them, but I don't want to sit there all day and throw a million shurikens at them, try to kill them. I've never killed them all, so I don't even know if they're infinitely spawning enemies. They may just be placed out there to make getting Life of the Gods number 7 harder for you, but I'm really not sure. Anyway, so I used the Inferno right there just to get these guys out of the way, then one left. Then I think I throw shurikens at this guy here. So they fall pretty quickly, and then they're just dead. I don't know if they give you essence. Looks like they don't give you essence. That's pretty jacked up. Anyway, dash a couple times in here and then come out, because you don't want to fight the IS ninjas with the archers in there who are shooting flaming arrows at you. And what happened here was I honestly didn't expect the archers to unspawn on me. And in the description for all these videos, one of my conditions of gameplay, it says there's an asterisk beside it, but it says no unspawning enemies. That's fine, and I'm not unspawning enemies with any kind of forethought. They just unspawned, and I'm not doing this over again just because the game can't save the fact that their data exists at those particular spots. So that's the reason I'm surveying the whole area inside here from shelter. And once I got the Lives of the Thousand Gods over here and looked up here where the archer normally is, I realized that they unspawned. So I can't do anything about that. what I mainly meant about no unspawning enemies is that I'm not going to purposely unspawn enemies to make the game easier for myself. That's what I meant. Some enemies will get unspawned. That's not my fault. It's the game's fault. So here's the last save point. Now we're going to be doing a battle up here. This is actually this battle always turns out to be it always turns out that it results in interesting gameplay footage. So check this out down here. I got 2 Nympho drops, and you might be thinking big deal, but hell, each one of those is 6,000. So that's 12,000 in essence I just reaped from those kills right there. So the reason I'm using the incendiary shurikens now is because there's no way in hell I'm going to die after getting a drop like that, which is very, very rare. So take out the archers, sunder limbs, kill the IS ninjas. Looks like another IS ninja dropped down there. We're going to take him out. And funny, see how a moment ago when I said interesting thing has always happened? These IS ninjas, there's 2 of them. I think one of them got delimbed. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to fall down that shaft. One of these guys got delimbed. I think I actually got tagged over here somewhere. Just because I was observing stuff, and these guys grant you no mercy. Now I'm going to go up here and see who's doing what over here. They're probably being really stupid. So okay, we got that guy taken care of. This should go without saying, but I have to say it every time I do the guide. When you're doing an ET, he throws 2 shurikens. When you're doing a UT, he throws 3. Whenever you jump off a wall and throw shurikens, he throws 2. So that's everything you need to know about the shuriken distribution. So this was what I was talking about a moment ago. You don't even have to fight these guys. I mean, they're only out. I personally believe, after doing this many times, they're only out here to give you a hard time. And they don't even do that well of a job either, because you just get the chest and then you move along, and you save it or do whatever you want. You go towards Alexei. But my mentality about this situation is I'm going to use all 30 arrows. And by the way, I come back in here just to get all the drops. They'll come right to you. My mentality is I'm going to use... I shouldn't even have used arrows, because I had to buy those. They cost 3,000, and I don't think I made up for that much money. And I think I may have done. I think I got an Nympho drop, so it made up for it a little bit. But and just in view of the fact that the incendiary shurikens are free from the moment you can access that display case where the shurikens are until the end of the level, there's no financial repercussions of using incendiary shurikens. So even though I had to buy 30 arrows, I said to myself, I'll use all 30 arrows, and then I'll use all 30. I said this the last time I did this guide too. I was just listening to it actually, because I wanted to know where the next spawn was of the enemies. And wouldn't you know it, 30 arrows and 30 incendiary shurikens doesn't take care of all these guys. And the problem is a lot of there's 2 problems that I know about. A lot of the incendiary shurikens don't make contact with the flying demons, and also you're in such a haste over here that you'll throw an incendiary shuriken at one, and you only need one to kill them. And then what happens is you're getting so nervous that you kill another one. You throw one into one who already has one, so it's a waste. Now we're going to go up the staircase and engage in the final battle before Alexei. So make sure you don't overbuy any of these Devil Way mushrooms, because one is on this course right here. And so just do your flying bird flips up here, and then when you land, I was trying to get a non-landing charge. I failed. Something really awesome happened over here, and I lamented the fact that I couldn't get it on record last time, but I got it on record this time. Check this out. I just love doing this right here. That's so badass. I was actually waiting here for a moment to see if anybody would drop it. Of course they didn't. So continue your flying bird flips up here. These are the last enemies you face before the Alexei boss fight. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slay these last two fools right here. Then I'm going to go back to the save point and do the test of Valor. It's not that hard. It only took 15 minutes. Here's a journal. The last time I did this guide, I sped up the footage, just in fast forward speed, and it was only 15. It was only about the same amount of time that this one took, 15 minutes, and I guess I thought that was too long to have in a video where all I was doing was UT spamming, and that's all I'm going to be doing in this next test of Valor. Although it did. When I was playing it, I did shape some good strategies into effect, so definitely take advantage of what I do over here. Normally I would even speed this up, and I will in the future, but since these are very long, it doesn't seem like it's necessary. Plus, I'm trying to hustle my way back here as quickly as I can with Flying Swallow. Anyway, so the reason I save these for last is because I just want to get enough stuff going, like my items and everything, and I needed to go back, and I actually forgot to pick up arrows before the test of Valor. Actually, I couldn't, could I? I forgot to at least purchase them, but you're not going to need them. For my strategy, though, it does require that you have some incendiary shurikens, so just pick them up. They're for free anyway. Make sure you heal yourself. Pick up the shuriken, save it, and then the next thing we're going to be doing is the test of Valor. It is the second of 9. So here we go. Okay, this is the second of 9 tests of Valor. It is on chapter 4, and in this test of Valor we have bone scorpions, whom you want to take out first, and then we also have chainsaw bazooka zombies. A UT kill on a bone scorpion nets you 210 essence, and a UT kill on a chainsaw bazooka zombie nets you 1400 essence, which is a lot. That's I don't think any enemy besides the death worm gives you more. So okay, so we primarily are just avoiding the chainsaw bazooka zombies. My experience with these guys is that the further you are away from them, the less of a threat they are. Although a few moments ago you did see I got hit by a couple of their cannonballs. And you might be wondering why I'm not rotating the camera when I'm charging an attack. It's mostly faith-based and just kind of praying that I'm not going to get hit. It's a bad strategy to pass along, but it works. I mean, all you need to do is position yourself away from the chainsaw bazooka zombies, and they're not really a threat. They can be a threat, and they probably will be a threat for you from time to time. But just heal. It's not that hard. We're going to be making a ton of money on this trial. I know that I made at least 100,000, and that's including the Talisman of Rebirth, which is the reward. So we earlier in chapter 4. I know this is an isolated piece of footage, and it's not going to be in the chapter 4 guide. But on chapter 4, which this is right here, you get a Talisman of Rebirth earlier in the stage. So your reward is normally it's a Talisman of Rebirth, but since I already have one, it's going to give me the monetary equivalent of what one costs on Master Ninja mode, namely 50,000 in essence. If you've used your Talisman of Rebirth heretofore, it'll give you a Talisman of Rebirth. So it's pretty simple logic. But there's absolutely no reason you should have used the Talisman of Rebirth. There's just none. Plus, there's 2 of them on the next stage too. I count that there's 2. Some people kind of split it up, 5 and 6. But you can obtain the second of the 2 Talismans of Rebirth even on chapter 5 before you fight the boss, the water demon. So I'm using the lunar here. Their essence of the bone scorpion essence pops up right away. You don't have to wait for it to materialize too much. But that doesn't really come into play whatsoever, because we're not using their essence to charge attacks, because that would be a wasted amount. That would be wasting money. So, okay, so I'm switching to the. I switched to the arrows right there, and I didn't see it for a while, but eventually I looked up to the right and I noticed that, hell, I only had one arrow to shoot. The reason I even equip a projectile, oh yeah, watch out for these guys. They'll guard lock you and maul you to death. They're very deadly. They're one of those enemies that doesn't look very deadly, but they can be. They also have an acid drip move, but that's only when they're hanging from ceilings. And obviously there's no ceilings here, but there will be ceilings when we face these guys after defeating the Bone Dragon later on in the game, in Chapter 6, if I'm not mistaken. So, we really don't need to know much about the Bone Scorpions. They're weaklings, they're fodder enemies, but it is important to know how the chainsaw bazooka zombies work. When I kill all of these Bone Scorpions and just get these guys out of the way, what I'm going to be doing is going up to each one of the chainsaw bazooka zombies and just throwing one incendiary shuriken at him. Now, it's kind of weird, and it's interesting weird. It's not bad weird. It's just that when you delim a chainsaw bazooka zombie, two things can happen. You can either divest them of their gun, or you can divest them of their chainsaw. Ideally, you want to divest them of their gun, because that way they're not shooting cannonballs at you. And I honestly believe at this point in my playing this game so many times, I believe that you can't manipulate what you want. Even I was shooting arrows like directly at the guns, and some of the times I was robbing these guys of their guns. Sometimes I was shooting like right at the gun, like literally point blank right at the gun, but the chainsaw would fall off. So I think it's a bit random, but what I was getting over here when I was throwing these incendiary shurikens, pretty much I was getting a lot. I think I got like 5 in a row. I would throw an incendiary shuriken at these guys, and their gun would fall off. And it's pretty simple logic about why you want their gun to go off. You don't want them to shoot you, because if their cannonball hits you, it deals a lot of damage, plus it completely breaks your charge, and then you have to restart your charge. So what I do is, and this wasn't a tactic that I came in here thinking I would do. It was just a moment of improvisation, and it worked really well. There were some kind of highs and lows with success, but anyway, once you get their gun away, they're only a threat if you make them a threat. You make them a threat by getting close to them. So you want to safely position yourself away from them. So there's a $1,400 kill right there. You want to safely position yourself away from one of them. Even if they have their gun, you've got to risk it. Oh yeah, another thing can happen. I guess there's 3 possibilities. Another possibility, if you do an incendiary shuriken, is that they'll lose their legs. So we'll have to see that. Okay, so all the Bone Scorpions are gone. So see how that guy has no gun. Now I'm going to go over to him. He lost his gun. He just has a chainsaw. He's no threat right now. Then this guy, so that's 2 in a row. Then this is 3 in a row. He lost his gun. Now let's go up to this guy and see what happens. I know this guy lost his gun too. So that's 4 in a row. 4 enemies on this map cannot harm me unless I'm at melee range. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to kill one of these guys. I'm going to have every one of these enemies just walking around with a chainsaw so they're no threat. And then I'm going to have one spawn one at a time. So let's see what happens. Okay, so in that instance, the guy lost his chainsaw and then he only had the gun. So when they're like that, you've got to take them out. And I actually don't hesitate to just OT them when they're in that status. Because as much as, we could be making a lot of money here, but we don't want our monetary gains to be offset by having to use too many healing items, because we're going to have to rebuy any healing items that we use. It's just inevitable. So here's a charge right here. I'm going to take this guy out. There may come a time when 2 spawn. That's only because I may at some point kill 2 guys when I don't want to. So I'm going to throw a dagger at this guy. Let's see what happens. He lost. Okay, so there is one of the little things that happens. I threw a dagger at him, and he lost his legs. When they're like that, they're very dangerous, because it seems like their aggression factor even intensifies because they start shooting even more bullets at you. So I don't hesitate. I just go up to them and OT them if they're in that status. So here's the newly spawned guy. I threw a dagger at him, and he went down again. So I'm going to have to take this guy out as promptly as I can. Now this UT right here, I don't think this one killed him. No. Normally it will. Trust me. Normally a UT kill on an enemy like that, in that position, he's going to be killed. So I may have killed 2 guys right there. In fact, it looks like I killed 3 guys. So we have a new batch of spawners over here, and I'm going to have to do the same thing, throwing a dagger at these guys and just see what I get. So, nope, it's a no-go. This guy is dangerous. He needs to be taken out pronto. Another reason I might elect to OT them rather than UT them is if they're close to another enemy. I don't want to kill 2 enemies at one time and have more than 1 enemy respawn. So, here's another situation. So this kind of worked out where I got a lot of enemies losing their chainsaws during this latter part of the video and earlier in the video. Like right when I got all the bone dragons gone, or the bone scorpions, they were losing their guns. So that just kind of shows you how random this whole thing is. But I feel this is a very good strategy for dealing with this. It's yeah, you got to watch out for those. I mean, this is doable even if you don't do my strategy. I mean, your success is not going to hinge on whether you're doing my strategy here. But I thought it was an interesting thing to do, actually. So let's see if this UT kills him. This should kill him. Nope, it didn't kill him. It may take 2 UTs to kill an enemy in that status when they've lost their legs. So I'm gonna have to take this guy out. He's gonna have to go down either with a UT or an OT, because I can't have this guy on the map. So I'm just gonna probably OT this guy and just get him out of the way. Yes, I'm losing 1,400 in essence, but I'm not, wasting having to use a healing item. Okay, so that was a good hit right there. The guy lost his gun. Now throw this. Okay, so a lot of these situations occurred towards this latter part of the video. Also, I mean, if you know you're going to get hit by a cannonball, just block. If you're not blocking and you get hit by it, it takes away a devastatingly amount of hits. So it looks like we've got. Let me see. That guy has a chainsaw. This guy has a gun. Gonna have to OT this guy. Oh no, I don't know what happened there. I must have thrown another dagger at him. So at this point, I decided to cast Nimpo at the guys. Only because I knew that once you defeat the Trial of Valor, they always refill your health and refill your key gauge. So now I'm going to kind of thread my way over here and get a blue essence drop. I'm always looking for the newly spawned enemy. So that was a good use of that right there. It took his gun off. Let's see if this takes his gun off. No, that took the chainsaw off. We don't want that. So I had to resort to an ET right there to save myself. I may not have gotten killed, but why take damage when you know that taking damage might severely harm you? So it looks like I killed 2 guys right there. That means 2 guys are going to spawn, unless we only have a few guys left, which I suspect is the case. But here's a newly spawned individual right there. Throw a dagger at him. Okay, yeah, so 2 guys did spawn. Let's see what happens to him. He lost his gun, which is good, so I don't have to worry about him until later. Now let's see what happens with this guy here. He lost his gun, which is good. So now it looks like we have 4 guys on the map who are no threat at all. And when I say that they are a threat, it's just that, I mean, if one of these guys jumped on me and started chainsawing me, it would be over. But it's so easy to just place yourself safely away from these guys and then do a charge. It's just, it would be a huge oversight of one's skill. And, you know, anyway, so these are the last 2 guys. And I'm just going to take these guys out and collect my 1400 in essence and get my reward. So this is probably one of the easiest trials, and it's very lucrative, as many of them are. So I think I probably got around 75,000 for all those kills, and then with the addition of the 50,000 that I get from this box up here, that's easily over $100,000. It was probably 125,000 I made. So that's the end of the Test of Valor number 2. Okay, so now we need to talk about the boss. The boss fight for this level of Alexei. He's very tough. And I don't know if they heightened his aggression level in this. Well, it would be the same. It would be the original aggression factor. But he's a very, very, very tough boss. But he's not one of those bosses that's impossible. It just takes a bit of practice, and I just want to get into the meat of things right away. That's why I kept this in normal speed as I backtrack. That's also why I have 2 clips of the boss, one in real time and then one in slow motion, so I can talk about things a little bit more in depth. He's got 4 attacks, Alexei has. He's got a projectile attack where he throws, they look like skulls to me. He's also got a whirlwind attack that he does very frequently. It goes right across the screen. I was having more luck evading that particular move by not evading and jumping, but by simply jumping. You're required to have a degree of timing that is very precise, but it's not something that goes beyond the call of what a normal person can do. He's also got a long range throw, and he really spams the hell out of that. I can't tell you how much. It seems to be arbitrary too, but it's not one of those grabs that's going to kill you even if you have full health. That's how it is in Sigma 2. The preferred weapon on this guy is actually the Dragon Sword, but I'm going to use this weapon here, even though it dropped me down to 120,000 essence. Also have that equipped. Have the Talisman of Rebirth equipped. Have all your items. The last attack he does is a lightning strike. Now that's the one opportunity when he's hovering in the air you can hit him with Nimpo. I've hit him with Nimpo when he was on the ground, but it was very rare. But anyway, here we go. Here we go with the fight. The first clip is going to be in slow motion, and then right when the fight starts, I usually keep my guard up, and then I evade. So here's his projectile attack. So with this particular weapon, it's just 4 triangle strikes. That's all you need to do. And since I knew that I was going to use a Talisman of Rebirth, I was disposed to just use Nimpo. I'm using Nimpo to get out of the recovery frames from the combos that I do. So you see how I evaded. If I had evaded to the left, I probably would have got out of that. So that's the last Nimpo I have on board. Now I'm going to use the Talisman of Rebirth. There's 2 in the next level, so it makes no sense to not use one. This was a good run, but it had everything. So see how he started hovering in the air? Normally he'll do that after he does a whirlwind attack, or after he grabs you. But definitely, when he's in the air, nail him with the Inferno. Here is when he goes into Berserk mode. It's harder to hit this guy now because he's faster and he's more evasive. And as you can imagine, his attacks take even more hits from you. So sometimes, even though I told you not to like evade and then add a jump to the evade, I can't help it sometimes. It's also recommended that you don't that you close in the distance on this guy, but again, I can't help it. Plus, he loves to grab too. He's got a wicked grab too. So it's also really good just to let him punch and then do your combo. So here's the battle in slow motion, and this is about twice as slow as it normally was, but now I can actually speak about what's going on. So I hit him with the Y attack ×4. Now I'm gonna use that to. I didn't really need any immunity from recovery frames right there, but since I knew I was going to use the Talisman Breath, I just use it. So here he's going into his whirlwind spin. I'm going to evade, and then he caught me. Hit him a couple times. All I'm using is Y attacks with the level 3 Dragon's Claw Tiger's Fang. That right there was a perfect instance where I needed to have some recovery frames. I had recovery frames, which recovery frames are frames where you're going to get damaged. So if you could somehow get iframes to nullify the recovery frames, you're in good shape. So I cast that last info, again, knowing that I was going to perish pretty soon, but I had the Talisman of Rebirth to fall back on. It's just hard to... You have to have impeccable timing. And then you go over to him, and he grabs you. So nailed him a couple times. You see how he stuns? He gets stuns and reels back. That's why I like this weapon. It's really good. You hover it in the air right there. I'm going to drop the Inferno to deal some damage. All this damage, it adds up. Trust me. So he's going to come down. I'm going to see what he's doing. Looks like he's dashing towards me. He's going to do that slam move where he did the slam move twice. I evaded. Hit him a couple times, stunned him. Then I noticed he went into berserk mode, so I got to be very evasive here. Minimize my evading plus jump. I'm going to use my Nimpo since my Nimpo gets refilled up in the next level anyway. There's no point in not using it. That was a good evade right there. That was a very good evade. I evaded at the proper time. Now all he's doing is projectile attack. He's going to follow that up with a dash across the screen. He got me. I'm going to heal myself a bit. This is the phase where it's really crucial to just take him out because he's very evasive, like I mentioned. Drop Nimpo just for the heck of it right there. He got me on the back. So now I notice he's doing his projectile attack. I'm going to evade and then go in for some final strikes on this guy. See, he instigated his whirlwind twirl right there, and I was right there and right next to him right when he launched his twirl, so I got damaged severely and I had to use some healing items. So here's his combo right there. I'm going to let it time out, jump back, and then he flipped back, and then I knew it was just a couple more hits. I just needed one more Y combo, and I got him. But that boss was very hard, but we took him out. That's the end of Chapter 4, and I got the Master Ninja rank. And I will see you guys in Chapter 5.